going on, family? It's about that time for that terrible award show that I normally disagree with every year. So I tend to try to put these lists together so I can make my own arguments for my own films that I feel that deserve an award, if any, this year, because 2022 has been a difficult year. So I don't know where they're going to be going with these awards this year. Of course, visual effects goes to the reigning king. Every time he drops, it seems like he does something amazing with the visuals. And as far as acting, I guess there's a couple movies out there that really could be considered the best for the best actors or actresses out there. But again, we're not going to get into all that. We're just going to go into the top 10 films of 2022. So we're going to start this baby off with film number 10, The Woman King. The Woman King was one of those films that I wasn't expecting much from, but it actually surprised me. Although it's not historically accurate, none of these movies are, but it's one of those films that I enjoyed all the way through. There wasn't a boring part in that film that I was just like, all right, it's time for me to go use the restroom or go get more popcorn. You know, there's always that 5-10 minute window where you could just go do something else and come back and you'll be fine. And this film was not that. It was storytelling, it was action, it was everything you needed in a film, and I feel like the movie didn't get the praise it deserved, and that is going to be my number 10 film of 2022. Going into my number 9 film of 2022, I want you guys to understand that these are my top 10 films of the year. This might not coincide with your top 10. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. I appreciate y'all for tuning in again. Go ahead and leave your top 10 in the comments. I want to see. I want to compare. Let's have these conversations, all right? So my number 9 is going to go to none other than...
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins.
So Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was my number 9 film for a multitude of reasons. One, it was one of those films that I was waiting on, and honestly, I thought it was going to be everything that No Way Home was not. For those of you who don't know, I didn't enjoy No Way Home the way that everyone else did. Again, it wasn't a bad film. It was actually a solid film. But come on now. Like, the fanfare was there. It wasn't much more. But either way, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness came with tact. It came with a good story, and I feel like we didn't capitalize off that story. We kind of went into No Way Home storyline a little bit just to tie the films in, and I felt like that wasn't necessary. And there was another thing in this film that really caught my attention and I felt just wasn't needed at all. That's going to be the corny horror transitions. Again, this is one of those things, I know I'm being picky, but you notice it and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Like when Wanda announces herself as the Scarlet Witch and it goes into a transition into Wong, and I was like, all right, that was kind of cringeworthy. Like, those things wasn't needed in the film. And also the fact that they brought in the Illuminati was just, again, just keep it out. We're not that far into these stories that we need to be bringing these characters in. And it's a bunch of fanfare. We don't need it. And it actually ruins the storyline, all right? So those are the problems I have with the film. As far as the good side of the film, it was very good storytelling. And it actually showed us like a horror side to Doctor Strange. And I feel like they're going to get into the Midnight Suns, which is going to introduce the Blades of the world, so on and so forth. Wolverine will be there. Again, this might be way down the line, but those are some of the things, some of the Easter eggs that I'm excited to see. All right, let's get into the number 8 film.
Wake up, buddy. It is walk o'clock. Maybe I should let him sleep. Okay.
Jump around! Jump up and get down! Jump! Everybody jump!
And I'm up. Okay, Crypto. We'll go for a walk.
I have an owner, and he's Superman.
Let me just iron that out. They should call me Iron Man. No. My dog's the best, but he's not the greatest with other animals.
What is new with you, fellow normal dog?
I bit the FedEx guy the other day.
Who was he working for? General Zod? The Legion of Doom?
FedEx.
So my number 8 film was a little different. It was DC Super Pets. Reason being, this film was actually good. Not because it was just a superhero like theme thing. And I know that seems like where we're going with this list. I promise you there's going to be some changes. But DC Super Pets was actually a well put together film. And I tell people about DC. DC does their animation films right. I don't know who they have over there. They know what they're doing when it comes to animation and games. They're like second to none when it comes to their stuff. But it's just the DCEU. They've been struggling since day one, and now there's a reboot. So again, I'm happy to hear that, and I can't wait to see that. But DC Super Pets was just one of those films that I enjoyed with my family. We enjoyed it a lot, and it was hilarious at points. It was The Rock, Kevin Hart, and normally that duo makes a good film either way. So again, if you haven't seen it, go check out DC Super Pets. Coming in at number 7 is going to be none other than the supernatural thriller, The Black Phone.
I'll be home in the morning.
Where you going?
I'm staying over at Susie's tonight.
What's new? The flyer.
The papers call him the grabber.
I wish you wouldn't call him that.
You don't actually believe that story, do you? Because he can't hear you, and he doesn't really take kids that safe.
Oh, you goof. Well, isn't that just peachy keen?
You need some help?
You see that?
Yeah.
Would you hand me my hat? Yes, sir. I am a part-time magician.
Are those black balloons in there?
Would you like to see a magic trick?
I have an announcement to make. One of our students, Finney Blake, was abducted.
What if I could help the police find Finney?
Doesn't work. Not since I was a kid.
I'll scream. I'll scratch your face.
This face?
Dad.
I know what y'all thinking. Hey, I don't care. That was a horror film, C's. I don't know what you're thinking, so on and so forth. I get it. One of these days, I said I was going to do it. 2023 is the best year to do it. I'm going to break down what I feel is a horror film. I'm going to break down what I feel is a thriller, so on and so forth. Again, it had horror elements, but it's kind of like calling, well, I guess they did call Blade a horror film. And again, it's one of those things where I don't see it. I don't get the concept. Is it really a horror film? Is vampires horror? Is blood horror? Is jump scares horror? Because there's comedies that have all of those elements in them, and we'd never considered those horror films. So I don't know. We're going to go into that one of these days. But either way, The Black Phone came in at number 7. It was one of those films that was a nice touch on 2022. It was one of those films I was waiting on. Ethan Hawke is one of my favorite actors. Every time he's in a movie, it seems to be like a good movie. I don't know what he does. Like he's off the charts with it. Like he's a good one. as far as acting wise. Training Day, I think it's one of my top 5 films of all time. I'm gonna get into that another time. Ethan Hawke, he's just great at what he does. And with this, I thought it was gonna be a lot more creepy. It was a creepy like tone to it. It was one of those things where it plays off your fears, you know, especially back then. I think it took place in the 70s, 80s. Haven't seen it in a while. I just know that it was definitely one of my top films of this year. So Black Phone, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I know it's on Peacock. You guys still here? Cool. I need you guys to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Let your friends know what we're over here doing. I do movie reviews. Pretty much this is for everybody. Share with your family, share with your friends, share with your coworkers, colleagues, comrades, whatever. All right? Let them know what we're doing here over at the C's Monroe Show. I appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. I appreciate the support. All right? Let's get back to the video. Coming in at number 6 seems to be everyone's favorite of the year because it's almost at that $2 billion mark as we're recording this right now. So it has to be doing something. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Avatar: Way of Water.
I know you think I'm crazy.
I have to lie in those big rocks.
But I feel her. I hear her heartbeat. She's so close.
If you guys haven't checked out my Avatar 2 review, first off, what are you doing? Stop what you're doing. Go check that out. Then come back to my top 10 list because you're not going to understand why I'm putting it on my top 10. I'm lying because I'm about to explain it to you now, but still, go check that out. It's not bad, I promise. Either way, Avatar, it isn't for everybody, to be honest with you. It's just one of those films that's very cliche. You kind of understand what's going to happen before it happens. It's just, you're literally just there for the visual effects. And because I'm a big screen guy, that's what I expect when I go see movies all the time. Again, going back to my Black Adam review, people didn't enjoy that film as much as I did. And I'm not saying it's the best film in the world, but it was action-packed, visually stunning, and that's saying a lot, especially because a lot of the special effects departments have been backlogged for months due to a lot of layoffs and the fact that they're getting these movies back to back because of so much of the movies were backed off and a lot of backlog for movies and movies that were partially done, and they're just getting all these films in at one time. So again, kudos to the ones that's doing it right. Marvel is suffering from this, so hopefully they are able to get this ball back on the road, because honestly, seeing the visual effects lack in Marvel superhero films, it's kind of hard to watch at times. I'm not gonna lie to you. But either way, I feel like I've been off on a tangent. Getting back to Avatar: The Way of Water, James Cameron does it again. Again, he's going for that big screen spectacle and visually stunning. He's taking it another notch up. I've seen Avatar in high frame rate. I'm not sure if you guys understand what high frame rate is or if you've ever experienced it. Again, it's just different. It was high frame rate. It was 3D. It was brighter. It was just a different experience. And honestly, I can't see myself watching that film in 2D, like just regular screening, because the film is not that appealing to me at that point. It's not really anything that I want to sit through. But 3D, hands down, the best 3D I've ever encountered. and that's including the Transformers films, which I felt like was second to the last Avatar film. So again, there's a lot of difference going on when it comes to movies that's actually shot in 3D and then movies that's being converted over to 3D. You can tell. All right. So that was another thing that I felt like was missing in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I'm not sure if it was actually shot in 3D. And there were some parts that was like 3D parts, but it was about 2-3 parts in there that again would have showed some effect. And I felt like it could have been better. It could have been that was one of those films that should have been shot in 3D and it should have been prepared to better effects. And especially when we know that James Cameron is hitting us at the end of this year and what he's going to bring to this cinema at the end of the year. So again, kudos to James Cameron. I appreciate what you do. We appreciate what you do. Obviously, $2 billion. But yes, that's why the Avatar Way Award is my number 6 film. Coming in at number 5 is one of those treats that we got at the beginning of the year, the first quarter, and that's going to be another animated movie, The Bad Guys.
Hey, you, get over here. Oh, I know what it is. You're afraid because I'm the big bad wolf, the villain of every story. Duh. And this is the crew, Miss Tarantula, Mr. Shark, Mr. Piranha, Mr. Snake.
Everyone copy.
Copy. Copy. Copy. Copy. We're the bad guys.
It's crime time, baby. Shark. We need a distraction.
Do I get to improvise? Fine, please be subtle. I'm having a baby! Is there a doctor? Or perhaps several security guards that could leave their post and help me? We were never given a chance to be anything more than criminals. But these are the cards we've been dealt, so we might as well play them. Here, let me help you. Are you okay, ma'am?
Thank you, dear. You're such a good boy.
Wait, what?
I'm the bad guy.
All good, brother?
All good, yeah. You ever wonder what it'd be like if the world wasn't scared of us? Never gonna happen. Guys, we're gonna go good.
Did you get hit on the head?
You villains have an image problem. You need a makeover.
So criminal. Well, there goes our street cred.
I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I love animated films. I love animated anything, to be honest with you. As long as it's not one of those live action things that they flip to an animated thing just to save on payroll. That's not me. Leave me out. But The Bad Guys was one of those treats that you didn't know that you were going to get in the middle of the first quarter. Like, it was something that came in between the holidays and the next Minions movie. It was needed because we didn't have anything at that time. I think the next big movie that was coming out after that, I'm not going to get into it because it's on my top 10 films, so I'm going to get into that a little later. But The Bad Guys was a treat that we all needed. It was that palate cleanser that we needed from the holidays, and it got you where you needed to be. It was one of those films that you could just throw on and decompress throughout the day. You know, throwing in the background, you got family over, just throw it on. It's one of those. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out.